Hey guys, it's Britt. Tonight we're here with a little Dougherty Dozen update. I wanted to react to a couple of their new TikToks and just talk about a few things. So if you're interested, please keep watching. All right, you guys, so we're all familiar with the Dougherty Dozen. I'm going to go over a couple of their recent TikToks and share my thoughts. The first one that I wanted to bring to your attention is the video where Alicia puts together these St. Patrick's Day baskets for her children. Now, this is not a big deal to some people, and if it's not a big deal to you, that's okay. But I cannot stand to see the amount of waste that she creates. I know a lot of different things upset a lot of different people when it comes to their presents. Like, it's talked about widely on Reddit, on YouTube, on TikTok. There are more TikTok creators that are talking about the Dougherty Dozen now, and the conversation has only become louder over time. Now, I've been covering them for so long at this point. It's kind of worn down, and I'm trying to talk about the things that I'm more passionate about. I know some of y'all think that I'm still petty with some stuff. That's your opinion. But I do try to focus on like these kinds of things where it's like extreme waste, whether it's this kind of stuff or food waste or anything like that. Those are important to me aside from the oversharing and the more serious stuff. But she puts together these St. Patrick's Day buckets that have a bunch of cheap toys, a t-shirt, a pajama set, like these four-leaf clover headbands, these weird sunglasses, candy. I said this almost 2 years ago, and get ready for the people who think that I shouldn't have an opinion because I don't have kids. Get ready to hear them rant about this. Your children do not need a bucket filled with cheap plastic garbage for every holiday that is on the calendar. I've seen people do these buckets for the first day of summer, the last day of school, obviously holidays like July 4th and things like this, where it's just filled with a bunch of candy and nonsense and toys that either become broken or lost within 24 hours. It's completely unnecessary, and I will go back to what I've always said. Children are going to thrive with one-on-one device-free time versus a bucket of plastic crap and sugar. And I don't think that you have to be a genius to sort that out. Instead of putting together a bunch of buckets with a bunch of crap in it, why don't you take your children to a museum where they can learn about Irish history, the history of Ireland, learn about the culture, learn about the food that, you know, comes from Ireland, or something that is a little bit more educational that can also be device-free time. And it would stay with them, I guarantee. They would remember doing an outing, learning about Irish culture before they're going to remember these ugly t-shirts and stupid sunglasses that Alicia threw in this bucket for a TikTok. So the other thing I wanted to bring to your attention, this is just funny, that they did the Around the World night for Hungary, and Alicia makes meatloaf. So, of course, people are in the comments like, where's the goulash? Like, why aren't you making goulash if you're doing Around the World Hungry? And a literal 3-second Google search, because I don't know where meatloaf comes from, and I wanted to make sure that she wasn't being unfairly called out by the commenters, just in case. It says meatloaf is a traditional German, Scandinavian, and Belgian dish, and it's a cousin to the Dutch meatball. American meatloaf has its origins in scrapple, a mixture of ground pork and cornmeal, served by German Americans in Pennsylvania since colonial times. Hungary is nowhere in the origin story of meatloaf. So, you know, wait to prove again that you just make lazy content, toss it together, and, you know, kind of move on with your day. So, of course, Alicia had to throw in one of her infamous, disgusting ice cream float challenges to a recent TikTok, and she uses the Peeps Pepsi. Y'all know I love a good soda. Okay, I'm guilty of it. I do not understand why this woman constantly has to dump soda and sugar and ice cream and candy, cupcakes, all of the things into these young children that the proof, the medical evidence is out there that children should not be loaded full of a bunch of damn sugar at such a young age. And she is constantly doing it. And then she's constantly wanting to say, oh, well, my children have these medical issues. You know, they can't focus, they can't sleep, they're, you know, doing whatever. But diet has something to do with that. I don't think that if she was actually listening to what doctors had to say, I don't know any doctor, and sound off if you think I'm wrong about this, I'm not sure what pediatrician is going to look at the diet of any of these kids and say, stamp of approval. Awesome. Oh, they get to eat whatever they want. They get an ass load of sugar every single day. You're doing great. I don't know of any medical professional, doctor, nurse practitioner, physician's assistant, who would give a stamp of approval to what Alicia is doing. So I'm just so sick of seeing the constant sugar overloaded BS that she is constantly, and it's been going on for years. This is not something new, and it is still frustrating to witness all of this time later. Now, in what I think is the worst TikTok of all of these, let's talk about this, how old I was when each kid joined the family video that Alicia put out. Now, she brings each of the kids in and she shares the year that they entered her home and the age that she was when the child entered the home or she had the child. And she goes on down the line, you know, 2012, 2022, 38 years old, whatever the age. She's giving these kids hugs. To me, this is a very awkward video to watch. I've talked before about how all of the content that I have taken in of hers over the last year, she doesn't seem like a truly affectionate person. It seems very forced. It seems very scripted. And her physical interactions with her kids seem strange. And that's just my opinion as a viewer who has taken in a lot of their content. This to me seemed like well, I'm going to be the center of the show, but I'll go ahead and bring all the kids in. Now, the worst part of this TikTok was not the fact that it was awkward or Alicia made it about herself. The kinship boy brings in a photo of the kinship girl as if the girl is dead or missing or something like that. Now, this girl is on a, quote, social media break, and I don't know all the details of what's going on behind the scenes. I'm not here to give a bunch of conspiracy theories and platform all kinds of crazy nonsense. But what I will say is Alicia wants people to think that she's on a social media break, okay? So if she is on a social media break, and that's what you're going to tell people, why bring in the photo of her? Why bring in the photo and allow people to make speculations in the TikTok comments that you then go and reply to, or just questions and you have to reply to them? If someone's taking a social media break, that probably means that they don't want their image or stuff being used as a part of your social media. So if you're still going to constantly insert this child into your social media, okay, it's not a break because she's physically not there. To me, Alicia will find any reason and any kind of loophole to be able to use, especially those kinship kids, as part of her social media presence. It is constant. And even now, we're talking about a young girl who is on a social media break for whatever reason, and you want to allow her brother to bring in a picture as if it's like a memorial, like, oh, here, she's not here, but here's a photo. Just leave it alone. I think the best thing to do, and y'all can hate me for saying this, I don't really care anymore. Both of those kinship kids should be off of Alicia's platform right now. They should have never been on there, but at this point in time, it should have been her making the decision to be the bigger person, and let's go ahead and take the kinship kids off because, you know, it is being requested based on what I've seen. So if there is a request either from the child or somebody else to have these kids off Alicia's social media, go ahead and take them off the social media. Let's not continue to feed the frenzy by using her brother and having her brother bring in a photo of her and make this super awkward thing where, what, just for a TikTok? You wanted to do all that just for a TikTok. And I'll be honest with you guys, I see so many of her videos and I have that same opinion. You did all that just for a TikTok? You did all that. It is desperate. It is thirst for fame. And I think that it's absolutely appalling, the mess that Alicia Dougherty has created on social media. I've said for the longest time, I am all for giving credit where credit's due. And I just made a video on another mommy vlogger, Laura. She's leaving TikTok and choosing to protect her kids. If you're able to make the decision to protect your kids before you are absolutely just like called out and dragged over something that you know, did involving your kids, I think that's amazing. But with Alicia, what is going on, in my opinion, is that she is trying to save face. There is a huge circus going on behind the scenes, and there has been for quite some time now, but it's all coming to a boiling point. And instead of, you know, protecting the kids and handling stuff online, especially or offline, especially with those two kinship kids, she wants to save face. She wants to continue to trick and fool her, you know, subscribers who don't believe anything aside from what Alicia says. Everyone else is a liar and a hater. That only works for so long. Eventually, the liar and the hater might be coming to the table with some cold, hard facts, and y'all can continue to deny it. But I think that it's pretty transparent to see that she is trying her best to continue to put out this perfect image of what she thinks a perfect TikTok family looks like. And perfection doesn't exist. There is no perfect mom and perfect dad and perfect kids and perfect, you know, whatever she's trying to do here. People are imperfect, and I think that there is, you know, definitely a time and a place to realize that maybe I need to step off the gas and actually focus on like what is actually falling apart right now, instead of trying to continue this orchestrated show so that people think that I'm just like the perfect super mom. And I don't think that she has enough self-awareness to reflect on that and say maybe a break is needed and maybe now is a good time to do that break. Because you can only keep up with this show for so long. But either way, the last thing that I wanted to talk about in this video is Miss Auntie Lauren, and she went ahead and put out a series of YouTube shorts that I was sent, and I went ahead and saved them, and I will include them for context. But essentially, Lauren wanted to say, are you a leader? Are you a follower? Are you a friend or something like that? For me, Auntie Lauren has a completely skewed image of what a friendship is. And she thinks that just because Alicia talks to her and she talks to Alicia sometimes, there is some kind of like really deep bond built there. And I don't know what they talk about, but based on what I know, I have seen Lauren overstep her lines. She has rebranded herself and called herself an auntie to children that she doesn't know. She has included DD into her branding for a very long time now to allow everybody to know that she is aligned with the Dougherty Dozen and she supports Alicia, the child exploiter.
Hey guys, I've sat back and watched a number of lives over the last few weeks and I've noticed the word community getting thrown around quite a lot. We have a great community. Our community is awesome. But is it really a community if you have a leader who'll do nothing more than take? You know nothing about them, but as a follower, they know everything about you. You give them all of your time. You give them all of your attention. Or are you part of a partnership where it's give and take, where you know a lot about them and they know a lot about you? I'm lucky that I'm in a partnership. I know a lot about my best friend knows a lot about me. But watching these so-called community groups, how many of you followers actually know your leader? You probably know their name. You don't know anything else about them because they will not give it to you, because they are not your friend. They are your leader. To the person who's accusing me of stalking her and her sister on TikTok, I don't even know who you are. I've never heard of you. The reason that you were blocked from my account is because of the comments you left on my TikTok. That's the reason you were blocked. To the person who's accused... Hey, it's Lauren here. I'm having a chat about the commentary channels and various comments I'm receiving on my posts regarding my friendship with Alicia from Dougherty Dozen. A lot of people are saying that it's one-sided and that it's creepy and it's weird. And that's your opinion. The amount of friendships that I've seen that have been created online is absolutely unbelievable. To say that we're not friends because we live in completely different states or countries and we've never met each other is also incorrect. We started messaging, we then started FaceTiming. I trust Alicia with every bone in my body. I'm honest with Alicia. I may not always agree with what Alicia has to say, but like any friendship, we have our differences, but that's what makes us friends. So before you sit there and judge and say that it's not possible, sit back and have a look at who you're friends with. Hey, just a couple of quick thoughts around what's been going on. So first with DCP, my understanding is Alicia has temporary custody of N, therefore Bio Mum should not have been able to grant permission for messages to be shared. The second one is regarding Honora and the messages that she has shared between Bio Mum and Alicia. As Alicia states, social media is her job, and as she has 10 other children to care for, I don't believe she's been left with any other option. Also, if Bio Mum's going to be sending people around to Alicia's house during the day, night, whatever time frame, Alicia needs to also take into account the safety of the 10 children that she currently has living with her, as well as the 2 that are there temporarily.
Most importantly, let's also not forget that what I find to be one of the creepier situations that I've seen with Lauren is her sending that doll with her face on it. I don't know, maybe that's not a big deal to some people, but for me, it is very strange behavior to, send, you're going to send toys to kids. Like, that's a little weird to me, I'll be honest. Because it's like you're expecting some kind of thank you, some kind of gratitude in return for sending this kind of stuff. Alicia accepting things to hand over to her kids from people that are strangers, or maybe she talks to them once in a while in DM, is not a very good idea. And that's how I feel about it. I think that a lot of people send these, quote, gifts to these family vlogging kids thinking that that's going to be another way that they can have a line because they're parasocially connected. And if I send this child a shirt and then the child is wearing the shirt in the next vlog, then I can leave a comment and say, oh, I sent them that shirt. Like it almost like makes them feel cool. It makes them feel important, and it makes them feel deeper, a deeper parasocial connection to this family that they are absolutely obsessed with. Because let's be honest, to send gifts to children that are on social media that you do not know is a little weird. That's just my opinion. But Aunt St. Lauren to me is just someone who I almost think that she's like too deep in now. Maybe she does talk to Alicia sometimes, but I still don't think that they are like good old pals, and that's just my opinion. I think that she is someone who Alicia sees that she is just following along and not going to change her mind, and she's also a moderator. And I saw something on Reddit once that I guess Alicia pays Auntie Lauren or something like that to be a moderator, but that's allegedly conspiracy because I don't know the truth about that. I just think that Auntie Lauren is way, way, way too accepting of the obvious, very bad stuff that Alicia is putting online. And if you were actually her friend, you would be calling it out. And to say that, oh, you don't agree with everything, but you agree with some things, you agree with child exploitation and the oversharing to the 1 millionth degree. Auntie Lauren has been someone who has absolutely just like hated me from day one, and that's okay. But I do think that I've been very fair, and I have kind of wondered, like, is she going to see the kind of other side of this conversation at one point in time? And maybe she will, and maybe she won't, but I think that she kind of looks like a fool. And I don't think that people should be calling her a creepy stalker, but I do think that some of the actions that she has done could be a little bit creepy. And, you know, being called creepy sometimes is not the worst thing in the world. Welcome to the internet. But when you're doing things like that, what do you think people are going to say? Oh, that's awesome. Oh, that's amazing. Oh, you've talked to Alicia, you know, several times and you're saying that, you know, y'all are friends, but she's probably just using you. Like, let's be honest, because historically, Alicia has been shown to just use people until they're used up, and then she kind of, you know, knocks them to the wayside and moves on with her life. But, you know, that's also why she doesn't have any friends. She doesn't have anyone who is on YouTube at this point in time that fully backs her and supports her. Nobody likes her because of the, you know, bad stuff that she's done. So either way, I think that's enough rambling for tonight. So I will finish this up, but more content coming. So for now, if you like the video, please leave a like and a comment. And if you'd like to see more from me in the future, please subscribe. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.